Now, there are conflicting reports about whether stem cells, I beg your pardon, from human embryos should be used in research to find cures for serious illnesses.
Well, a number of world experts will be debating exactly that at a forum in Trinity College today entitled Stem Cells, Therapy or Scam? How to Tell the Difference. Stephen McMahon from the Irish Patients Association and Dr. Stephen Sullivan, Senior Stem Cell Researcher, join us now to discuss it. You're both very welcome. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Stephen, I was just saying in the break, I think a lot of people will be, Stephen Sullivan, I should say, for people at home, Stephen McMahon closest to me, we'll be thinking, well, I know kind of what it is, but how does it work? And do the cells still come from embryos? Can you just clarify what it is and how stem cell therapy works?
Well, different types of therapy exist using stem cells. So you can take, say, bone marrow transplants, which are basically transplantation of bone marrow of bone stem cells. And that's been around for 50 years.
Okay.
What the key thing here that I'm doing with Stephen McMahon and the Irish Patients Association is to try and raise awareness on what is a proven treatment versus an unproven treatment, because there's a huge difference between the two. And a patient going for an unproven treatment is going up against a lot more risk and needs to really understand the medicine and the science behind the decision they're making.
And there's a very limited number of proven treatments.
Yes, very, very small number. Basically immune diseases and some rare blood diseases. So if you're going for something that is, say, Alzheimer's or Huntington's or something specifically brain orientated, there's very little data that would suggest that there is a therapy here now that is proved.
See, one of the, we were discussing this with you just before we came on. In the course of doing this job, we often meet people who are in very difficult situations medically with, friends, family, children, and they're trying to raise money because there's this therapy in the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico or Burkina Faso or something like that, and you're hoping against hope that this is genuine and it is there for them, but something your brain is telling you this could so easily be a scam. It doesn't sound or feel right, and the chances are that vulnerable people are being exploited by this.
Absolutely, absolutely, and this is something that we're trying to highlight, ways of really identifying how people can discriminate between a legitimate treatment and somebody trying to take you for your money. So if people are asking for money up front, if they're asking you for money to participate in a clinical trial, if they're not giving you clear indications as to what cells they're going to be using in your treatment and how they're going to use those cells, that should set alarm bells ringing.
Are you saying to us that in 9 cases out of 10, if it looks too good to be true, the chances are that it is?
Yes, I mean, you need to talk to your clinician, your doctor. You need to go to agencies within the state like the Irish Medicines Board or the European Medicines Agency, and their job is to give information about valid treatments versus unproven treatments.
The problem is, Stephen, that this sounds all very logical and rational, but when people are sick and when their families are sick and the people they love are sick, they are desperate, and when they're offered a miracle cure, they will go for it and they will take it. So what would you say to people out there who maybe are in that position and they've heard of this wonderful stem cell therapy and it's being offered to them, but they're being asked to pay a lot of money? What steps should they take?
Well, firstly, as I say, this is why we're having the meeting. It's actually tomorrow night, not tomorrow night in Trinity College, but that's not a problem. You are correct that, even as the taxi man said to me coming in here this morning, he said, like you'd sell your soul for a family member to get a cure and so on. And excuse me, it's so important for patients and for our wider society to be informed as to what can work. I mean, if you peruse the internet, you'll find that for €7,500 you can practically find a cure for anything. And this is absolutely appalling when there's no science, no control, and so on. So as Stephen was saying there, it's important for patients to talk to their specialist, to their doctor. It's important for the medical profession themselves to be up on top as to what the state of the science is. But the whole purpose here is to empower patients and to provide them with the information. Tomorrow night's meeting will be attended by quite a number of patients in different patient groups, so that for the first time they will be able to meet experts in the field and to hear how, as Stephen is saying there, what to look out for. At the moment it appears if it's too good in the package and it looks too good and sounds too good, you'd really want to be careful.
And money up front is the big thing, Stephen, that you seem to be mentioning there.
Yes. Yeah,
that's the warning sign.
There was one website that we were looking at that showed that that they will actually offer you a finance package and the interest rate runs from 5% to 15%. So these are the kind of things. But again, if you're a vulnerable patient or a family, or you've got a a closely knit family that'll maybe all chip in money for someone that's very ill, these are where they can be taken advantage of, and this is what we want to try and protect Irish patients.
So they're the people who can attend tomorrow night. This is open to all.
Well, we've sent out quite a lot, a very wide invitation list to quite a number of stakeholders. Practically, I think nearly every stakeholder that has an interest in this area. And if there are people that are interested, in, we'd be happy to put them on a short list. If they contact info@irishpatients.ie or phone us at 012722 555, and we'll be happy to try and arrange a place for them tomorrow.
Without I'm trying to do the country down, I mean, we have been very slow to the blocks in this area. We don't even have proper legislation where this is concerned. I mean, medical institutions and scientific and medical practitioners have there's no map, there's no guides, there's no rules for them. I mean, surely, they've been doing stem cells with bone marrow for 50 years. Surely, but of God, we should have something in place, Stephen.
Yeah, that is true, and again, it's kind of like what was alluded to earlier in the programme. Because we're such a small country, we don't have a large number of experts, and then that's kind of retards the issue. But certainly, we do need more rigorous legislation in place, because if you're just trying to figure out something is real or not on the basis of just trying the internet and believing what you read on the internet, then makes people very vulnerable. The other thing I would say is that the media are always centred on direct transplantation of cells derived from stem cells into the patient. Researchers like myself are even more excited in the short-term benefits of stem cells in using them to develop better drugs and understanding the underpinnings of disease in the test tube. So using the stem cells outside the patient to really understand how disease occurs and how to make better drugs.
And Stephen, what about, is it a misconception that stem cells originate from embryos? There was much controversy about this in the beginning. Is this still a fact? Is this still something people should be concerned with? Okay, so there's many different types of stem cell. So for example, you've adult stem cells, you've got stem cells in a lot of your adult tissues. Now, some tissues don't have a residual stem cell population, so embryonic stem cells would be used in that case. So, for example, neurodegenerative diseases are best studied using embryonic stem cells.
Cord blood.
Cord blood, again,
is I mean, it's routine in America, by the way, if you've had a baby, that they take the cord blood in stores, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, it's about getting enough medical and scientific evidence together to say this can help in so many situations, so therefore we should put a certain amount of money into it.
And it is a wonderful thing. I mean, it is promising to potentially cure a lot of things we can't currently deal with.
Yes, I mean, there's certainly a lot of excitement within the scientific and medical communities, but that excitement really has to be tempered with a cold eye, and we have to be very careful in what we communicate directly to patients.
So there's an awful lot of opinion and very little fact, and if it looks too good to be true, the chances are it is. And bear that in mind if you have to, for some reason or other, investigating this area.
Exactly.
Okay. And tomorrow we're going to have Brock Reeves on, who's Christopher Reeves' brother, who's just arrived, I think, in the country now. So he's going to be on tomorrow discussing this further and taking it on another step. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and good luck with the talk tonight. It's good the information is getting out there, because I think there is much confusion. So thank you.